As if by magic, we're getting there. We're getting there. I think yes, I see something now.
Well, delays. That's always.
It's always delays, isn't it? There, look, I see us.
I don't see us. Not yet.
Oh, perhaps we don't.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Yay.
So finally,
Good
it all
morning,
came
people.
together. Good morning. Good morning to the late morning show with Lisa and Anton. Elevensies. It took us a little longer to get online this morning here. So
we're going to try to put our tail in the candle this morning.
No, good. She is not restful.
Not really, no.
Skittle is just, I don't know, trying.
Well, that's why she's called Skittle, because she kind of has Skittles for brains.
Oh, she does. Well,
she's a weird one, this one.
It's a little schizoid, to be perfectly
honest.
honest.
I just got to hold her tail down so it doesn't go poof.
Good morning, Gilda.
Flames.
I see people are starting to join us. This is wonderful. So gosh, yes, it's Thursday. It's Thursday, which means it must be Thoughtful Thursday. So we better think about what we're going to think about. Well,
I think I'd like to talk today about
stuff.
About how people treat each other. I was trying to figure out how to word it. Like, what you put out comes back to you.
Sort of. Yeah,
so
I believe so.
If you're all road raged and angry while you're driving, then you're not going to have a very comfortable, pleasant journey. No.
No. Everything's going to annoy you.
And the same kind of thing happens, like I'm sure we've all been in an upbeat mood.
Yes.
And then we come across an energy vampire that kind of sucks the life out of us, right?
It's so easy to spread bad vibes.
Right, but I mean, you could be in a really good space and you go into the store to pick one little thing up and the person behind the counter is all gnashing their teeth and had a terrible day, so they're just like, they suck your good energy right in.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
I mean, I know that.
Comments, or is the comments thing broken again?
I don't have any comments, but there's only 2 people watching. I can refresh if you'd like.
No. I don't want to throw you through a loop. I just want to see whether,
because
not everything works the way it's supposed to. I don't know. We've broken everything. I see people joining us. That's me. I'm throwing her through a loop. See, energy vampires. I just totally threw her through a loop, and she was doing really well.
I wasn't talking or anything. I wasn't. Yeah. Okay.
Wendy's joined us. Yeah, I think it's working. I just wanted to be sure that the people are actually hearing us.
All right. So again, I don't mean to sound sarcastic, but you'll notice that like everybody and their brother's an empath, and I think that everybody is empathic, meaning that you can pick up on the vibes of other people, and you can. Kind of respond or react to situations, read energy, things like that. But to actually be an empath is a whole
it's a different animal.
It's like a deeper thing.
Oh, yeah. I do know empaths, absolutely.
But I do think that we should
have an empathic ability.
I do think that we should learn to kind of protect ourselves and project more positive energy and more love, right?
So let me ask you, how do you deal with somebody who's obviously having an absolutely crap day? They're like wrapped up in their own flaming drama, and they're hissing, sparks all over the place. How do you deal with that?
The best way is to send them love. Now, it may be somebody that you really don't like, like let's say that your boss is a real butthole. And you really can't stand
I'm sure people
your
say
boss,
that about me.
No, this happens,
Yes.
Bosses can be very difficult to deal with. But, by the same token, maybe they are overly stressed or in a position of great responsibility. Sometimes we have no idea why the boss is a butthole. We just don't like the boss because they're a butthole.
They have a tourniquet around their nuts as well,
Right.
It's just...
So Margot taught us this a long time ago, and it absolutely works.
The Reverend Mother.
So what you do is you start out building the feeling of love by either thinking about your fur baby or, a family member or somebody that you can connect to and feel the strength and the power of the love. You build that love and you put it into a pink bubble.
Yes.
And you transmute it to the person that you are having a difficulty with. Hi, Kimmy.
Morning, Aaron.
And you transmute it to the person that you're having trouble with.
Morning, Sparky.
This beautiful pink light.
Mm-hmm.
And they will either be better,
Yep.
nicer, kinder, because they're absorbing that love,
Mm-hmm.
or the situation will change in some way that's good for you. Like they'll get a promotion. Or,
Okay.
So in other words, love does no harm. Many times we treat each other poorly, and then we want to take revenge on the other person, or, my ex cheated on me, so now I want him to burn in hell, and I'm going to stab his eyes out with this knife in his picture, and blah, blah, blah.
Steady.
That's really not how you fix a situation.
It's not, is
You
it?
know?
Because if you think about it, anger is an energy that multiplies and feeds on itself.
Oh my God.
And you know when everybody starts getting it, the next thing is this is an all-out fist fight, and there's chairs being thrown and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, and it does harm everyone. And people also don't realize that once something is said, you can't take it back.
You can't. It's like
right?
a rocky
It
flame.
doesn't matter if you say I'm sorry.
Can't unsay the word.
The energy is still out there. So it's better to just, say, hey, I love you, and I'm really sorry you're having a hard time. Obviously, you can't say I love you to your boss, but...
Well, you can.
You
can say I have the deepest of love and respect for you. You can say that.
You can say, how can I help you? Instead of complaining about the situation to other coworkers or multiplying the negative energy, you could go
right
to
on
the boss
head
and say, hi, Lynn, stabbing him in the eyes. No, don't do it.
Sparky's just made a point, actually. Yeah, I want to pick up on what you're saying, but she says that also works for taking good pictures. Build the feeling of love prior to taking a picture. What a good idea. What a good idea.
Oh, well, that's true, I suppose.
And Pam's saying there's a great book by Catherine Ponder called The Prospering Power of Love that goes through different meditations on sending love to help and improve any area of your life.
Well, see, that's true, though, because if you reached out to the boss and you said, how can I help you? I can see that you're upset today. I can see that you're stressed, struggling, whatever. They may actually tell you, well, look, I am overwhelmed, or something terrible's happened at home. Sometimes you don't have a real personal relationship with your boss, and they might say, oh my God, thank you for asking. My dog died this morning. Hi, Christopher. And I couldn't call out sick, and I just feel terrible. And maybe they'll give you
everybody's a
something
story
to
you
do.
know nothing about.
And
so
problems shared,
Yep.
have the problem.
Can be. It depends how you share it. So I want to pick up on what you're saying, because so many people internalize stuff. And, rather than practice conflict resolution and deal with it with the person with which you are having a conflict, right there, right now, even if you have to, hang on a minute, he's too bloody angry right now. I can't engage him. Let's just walk away. But let's put this high on my list of priorities when the opportunity presents. Have a closed door chat, sit down and have a chat with them, with that particular person. What happens so often in this world is we internalize stuff. Mm-hmm. We see this horrible set of events and we got it on a permanent looping video. And it's like we rewind and play it back and wind ourselves up. Or even worse than that, we start sharing this with co-workers
and
or
it just
somebody else.
And builds
and they, oh yes, I hear what you're saying, he's a complete bastard. And you start to manifest all this terrible negative energy, which is only going to bring you down, and it's going to bring your co-worker down, and it brings the whole bloody zeitgeist down. Mm-hmm. And none of this is working to do any kind of conflict resolution at all. It's not.
Okay, I have two things here.
Go for it,
Dominic
please.
says, when my boss acts like a butthole, I buy us both breakfast. See, that's great. But Kendall has a really good question. What do you do if someone has harmed you physically, like an assault? And I would say the first thing I would do is work on purging that trauma from myself,
yes.
Right? I would go through a meditation or a cleansing or a salt bath or whatever I could do to purge that trauma out of my cells. That's what I would do first. Then I would actually work on sending the perpetrator love. I know that sounds crazy, but That way, they will either transform and not harm other people, or they will get everything they deserve as karma will be served.
The absolute first thing you have to do if you are in this situation is you get yourself to a place of safety.
Right. Get yourself.
That's the very, very first thing you need
and
to
then
do.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I was taking it as she
Right.
doesn't live with that person.
Right.
And of course, you could do the logical means of have them arrested,
Yeah, but then to further pick up on what Lisa's saying is, do not allow this affront to you, this assault, this physical assault on you, to define you. Okay, it's not your fault. It's not what makes you who you are. Okay, and I know that's very hard, but you've actually got to detach from that situation, and that's difficult. I know it's difficult because it may actually be a physical scar. It's certainly an emotional one.
To work on getting it out of you because it's not your stuff.
This is not what defines you. This is not what defines you. And too often, I think sometimes we identify with the victim, not the victor. And, if you can bring yourself to a place of peace and power, and especially, this is the extremely hard thing, to actually put down that hot rock thinking, one day justice
No,
will
the
be...
best revenge, like I was saying yesterday, is to live well.
It's you that gets burned when you're doing that. Quite often, the person may be completely oblivious.
What are you doing?
She just can't help herself. It's an obsession. That's what she does.
She got down.
All
right.
But not for long enough.
Now, Kim says,
my
coworker started keying my car. It's been a rough few months. Kim, my advice to you is not going to be psychic. It's going to be practical.
Mm-hmm.
If you go online on Amazon or eBay, you can get a wildlife camera.
Yep.
Pretty cheap.
Yep.
One that's just triggered by movement. Get the coworker on camera and
prosecute
call the
them.
Police.
Prosecute them.
Make
Press
them pay,
charges. There is no excuse for criminal damage. None at all. Prosecute them, definitely. So yeah.
Make them pay the insurance claim to get the car fixed.
Insurance. Yeah.
Thanks for putting your butt in my face.
It's lovely, isn't it?
All right. Christopher says, are binding spells okay on people who assault you? Well,
there's
that's a tricky one to answer because words are extremely powerful. And if you are binding them from doing no harm to you, that's okay. But if you're binding them in a way that may be harmful to them, then you are taking on the responsibility of that. So be very mindful of how you word that spell.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, binding can be used for protection and as a shield. But before I did a binding against a particular person, I would do a force field spell to protect myself.
Yep.
And then again, I would send the horrible person love with the idea that they would get all that they deserve.
It's a tricky one. It's interesting. We have a whole we touch on it several times throughout our Craft of the Wise course, and it's in our book as well. It's this ethics, especially magical ethics. Do not do any spell, any magical working, unless you are prepared to accept the consequences of you doing that, and as if you did that physically. So in other words, if you've got an effigy of your ex and you're stabbing it, it's like, are you prepared to actually go up and stab your ex in the eyes with a sharp and go to jail for doing so? If you are, fair enough. You have free will.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, and it harm none. Do
because you will take on the responsibility, the consequence of that, right? If you run somebody through with a saber in the streets, you're going to pay the consequences.
Exactly
for that.
so.
You still would pay the consequences magically.
Yep. You're not free of the consequences of your actions. That's personal responsibility. Plus, you've also allowed, you've identified so much with the victim in this situation that you need to effect revenge.
You just don't want it to happen again.
Well, there's a difference when you're actually doing harm against somebody.
Dion Fortune, Psychic Self-Defense, has options for protection, says Sean. And that's true. And that book, I think, just celebrated its 100th anniversary.
Wow.
It's in
Wow.
yeah. We're old now.
Well, no, I don't remember her.
No, I don't remember her, but I remember her book for sure.
But we've trod on the sacred shores where she was about, our Violet Frith.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes. She's quite interesting, definitely. But yeah, gosh. So really, leaving magic aside, which is kind of tricky because we are magical people. We were talking this morning. The memory that you got was it about think magical thoughts, speak magical words, do magical deeds, and live a magical life.
My Facebook share was from 11 years ago, and that's what it was. Just like my little quip. It had like stars and little bursts, and it said, think magic, be magic, do magic, live magic.
It's true. Magic fixes a lot of stuff. It really does.
And energy follows thought.
Follows thought.
If you think, I'm going to be happy today, I don't care what the bastards do, you'll be happy today, not caring what the bastards do. But if you're going to hold on to every shitty thing people do to you...
Just think about how good it feels to make someone smile.
Or how good it feels to just rise above it, right? Like, why let someone take your piece of your life that you're never going to get back? Why let that happen? So the cashier was a bundle of horrible spew.
Threw my eggs at the bottom of the bag and put the canned tomatoes on top.
Make eye contact with them and say, gosh, I hope things get better for you.
Have a better day.
Yeah. Don't snarl at them and throw the change,
Yeah, because they have a story you don't know anything about.
Right.
They really do. Erin says, you two are so right about the spells. It'll bite you in the arse if it's done with the wrong intentions. Thank you for using the correct word there, Erin. Yeah, it's just arse, not ass, Ass is a donkey, isn't it? I think.
Arse.
Arse.
All right.
But yeah, seriously, we implore you. Magic is an amazing thing. You can raise positive energy as much as you can raise negative energy. We're all, if you will, the whole world is attuned to raising negative energy. We can all, look at the news you turn on. Oh, this is wrong, that's wrong.
Quickly. It's much harder to breed love.
Yeah, these people are doing this hate there, this violence there. But you can be the one that actually changes it. And simple, random acts of kindness can be the difference between somebody, going about their life and being nice and maybe rescuing a pet on the way home from throwing themselves off a bridge. Just that smile that you gave to that person.
Well, I was being sincere to make eye contact with the person and let them know that somebody gives a shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying be sarcastic and say, have a nice day. I was saying, look at them and say, man, I really hope your day gets better.
Yeah, seriously. It is. Because we do have the ability to change lives. And magic is so much better when you use it for good. And don't identify, as we said, with the anger in the situation, and don't consider yourself a victim. Consider yourself somebody able to affect real change here. And don't, conflict resolution is about resolving a conflict. It's not about internalizing it and, oh, you know what they said to me at work, and me. This doesn't help. Okay? It doesn't help. And especially if you take what somebody else has said and tell it to somebody else, that really doesn't help.
Spreads the poo-poos.
So...
All right.
Yeah. Good stuff today. That was a thoughtful Thursday. I think that was a good thoughtful Thursday. We like that.
Card of the day.
Let's see what we get for today.
Remember, it's for a reading, not to explain the card.
Well, you do that then. Here you go. We've got the Two of Swords.
All right. Make
conflict
good
resolution
choices. So Anton says this card is conflict resolution, finding the middle ground. And I'm saying today is about making good choices.
It is.
And a lot of times when I see this card in a reading, the person has kind of come to that place where it's now like,
poop or get off the pot.
Exactly. So pick one way or the other, or you might lose both opportunities.
Exactly. In the words of Yoda, choose you must. Choose you must. And honestly, to cite the words of the great prophet Led Zeppelin, there may be two paths you can go by, but you can always change the road you're on. So don't overthink it and stop procrastinating. And you will only resolve something if you work towards a resolution. Yep. Sitting there going, That's
All
my
right.
take on conflict resolution.
So off you go to have a fantastic Thursday.
An amazing
Ruled
day.
by Jupiter.
Jupiter
It's
day.
a great day for expanding.
And I am expanding. I need to go get some
And we
exercise.
probably won't see you again today, but we'll see you tomorrow
Yeah,
morning.
I know
at 11.
we've got stuff coming in today, but I think
And
we've
we're
got
working-
so much stuff to do.
We're being authors and web designers and all kinds of things
All
today.
malarkey of fun stuff, yes. And
All right.
words are your wand. They are, Pam.
Words
They are.
are
Words are
important.
your wand. They are truly magical. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for joining us.
Peace.
Love
Have
you
a
guys.
great day.
Have an amazingly beautiful day.